The glass doors of Bellini's part before me like water. I clutch my handmade gift box closer to my chest as the maitre d' glances up, recognition softening his face. Miss Carter, your family is already seated. Of course they are. I'm exactly 3 minutes late. Bellini's gleams with old Chicago money crystal chandeliers casting honeyed light across white tablecloths, silver so polished it hurts to look at directly. The scent of truffle and aged wine hangs in the air, familiar as my childhood. I spot them immediately at the center table. The best table. Always the best for Richard Carter and family. My father checks his watch as I approach, his expression tightening. Mother birthday girl, Patricia Carter, barely looks up from whatever Chloe is saying. My sister's hands flutter animatedly, her diamond tennis bracelet catching the light with each gesture. Beside her, Andrew nods attentively, his tech mogul slouch at odds with the restaurant's formality. Sorry I'm late, I say, though I'm not. Traffic on Michigan Avenue was terrible. Father's eyes flick to my simple cream blouse and tailored pants. Not designer, not expensive enough. His gaze lands on my gift wrapped in handmade paper with pressed flowers and his mouth twitches. You missed the appetizers, he says. I slide into the empty chair. I had a client meeting that ran long. A client? Chloe's perfect eyebrows arch. For your little Instagram thing. Digital marketing firm. I correct, signaling the waiter for wine. Mother pats my hand. Let's not talk business, it's my birthday. Right on cue, perfectly wrapped boxes appear. The gift ceremony Carter tradition stretching back to my childhood, when father would grade our presents with his appraising stare. Chloe goes first, pushing forward a distinctive orange box tied with brown ribbon. Happy birthday, Mom. Mother's hands flutter to her throat. Her mess. Oh, Chloe. The bag emerges buttersoft leather in a rich caramel shade. $4,000 minimum. Father nods approvingly as mother makes appropriately delighted sounds. Andrew helped pick the color, Chloe adds, leaning into her husband's shoulder. All eyes turn to me. I push my package across the table, suddenly aware of its humble appearance next to the designer packaging. Happy birthday, Mom. The silence as she unwraps it feels endless. Inside lies a hand-bound photo album, hours spent selecting and arranging family photos spanning 40 years, each with a handwritten memory beneath. Oh, Mother says, turning pages with puzzled fingers. How creative. Father snorts softly. Maybe next year you'll afford a real gift when you get a real job. The table erupts in soft laughter that slices through me like paper cuts. I force my face to remain neutral, exactly as I did 3 years ago in Diane Winter's executive office when I turned down the promotion that would have made me the youngest VP in the firm's history. Emily, marketing is a hobby, not a career. Diane had said, glasses perched on her nose. This position comes with a corner office and a $175,000 salary. Think carefully. I had thought carefully, for years. Through every spreadsheet and financial projection that dulled my soul. Through every small business owner whose passion reignited something in me that Wharton Business School had methodically extinguished. I've made my decision, I'd told her. Father's reaction had been worse. Another Carter woman with a cute little hobby, he'd sneered at Sunday dinner. Like Mother's watercolors, displayed exactly nowhere in our Highland Park mansion. My phone buzzes discreetly. A notification from TechCrunch confirming tomorrow's interview. I silence it without looking up. You know, Patricia, the restaurant owner approaches, greeting my mother warmly before turning to me with unusual deference. Emily helped my nephew's coffee shop increase revenue by 60% last quarter. Remarkable work. Father's face tightens with confusion. Mother blinks rapidly. Success looks different to different people. I say quietly, sipping my wine. The conversation drifts to Chloe's country club membership and Andrew's latest funding round. The album sits forgotten beside Mother's plate. I've been here before, she ends, fair projects overlooked unless they impressed Father's golf partners, piano recitals attended with clock-watching impatience, college acceptance letters ranked by prestige rather than fit. As dessert arrives, father turns his attention back to me. So how is your little marketing business going? The question drips with dismissal. I meet his gaze directly. It's growing. In fact, I just signed a new client last week. Andrew looks up from his tiramisu, sudden interest crossing his face. What kind of client? The conversation pauses. Mother and Chloe exchange glances. Father's eyebrows lower slightly. I smile, feeling the weight of 3 years of dismissed achievements behind my lips. A tech startup that needed help. I don't mention that the startup has been featured in Forbes. I don't mention my team of 6. I don't mention our waiting list. Some revelations deserve their moment. Next morning, my apartment still smells like last night's humiliation, expensive perfume and truffle oil clinging to my blazer draped over the kitchen chair. I pour coffee into my favorite chipped mug, a rebellion against the Carter family's Wedgwood obsession, when my phone buzzes. Chloe's name flashes on the screen. 8:15 in the morning, right on schedule. Just checking on you, she sings into the phone. You left so quickly after dessert. Had an early meeting, I say, which is true. The coffee burns my tongue. Listen, Emily. Her voice shifts to that particular tone, honey, coded concern. I talked to Dad this morning. He knows someone at Thompson Media who's looking for a marketing assistant. Entry level, but it's a foot in the door. I stare at the wall calendar where my TechCrunch interview is circled in red. Thanks, but I'm good. Don't be stubborn. How long are you going to play at being a businesswoman? The words hit like a slap. 3 years building something from nothing, and still this. I appreciate your concern, I say, keeping my voice level. I need to go. Client meeting. I hang up before she can respond, but my inbox pings immediately. An email from my father with 3 job listings and the subject line, Real Opportunities. Below it, my mother, Country Club Brunch Sunday. Several nice single men from Richard's golf group will attend, professional men, doctors and such. I close my laptop, grab my bag, and head for the door. The real world waits. An hour later, my office occupies the 3rd floor of a renovated factory in River North. Not the gleaming downtown skyscraper my father would approve of, but the exposed brick and massive windows feel right. Feel mine. Mia glances up from the reception desk as I enter. Morning, boss. The Vertex team is set up in the conference room, and Ryan finished the analytics report for BrewRight. They saw a 42% increase in online sales last quarter. Perfect. We'll include that in the showcase presentation. I pass the open workspace where my team of 6 already buzzes with morning energy. 3 years ago, this was just me at my kitchen table with a laptop and too much coffee. Now Digital Lift has a waiting list and we turn down more clients than we accept. Not that my family would know or care. The morning meeting flows with a practiced rhythm of professionals who know their craft. We review strategies, adjust campaign metrics, and celebrate wins. When I dismiss everyone, I feel that familiar surge of pride. This is mine. I built this. Emily? Mia appears in my office doorway. There's someone here to see you. Says he doesn't have an appointment, but it's urgent. She lowers her voice. It's Andrew Carter. My stomach drops. Send him in. Andrew appears in my doorway, his Silicon Valley casual clashing with our Chicago industrial space. His eyes widen as he takes in the office, the awards on the wall, the team working beyond my glass door, the view of the city. This is yours? Confusion wrinkles his forehead. Welcome to Digital Lift. I gesture to the chair across from my desk. How can I help you? He sits, clearly uncomfortable. I was expecting, I don't know. I was told this was the agency that saved Fresh Start Foods from bankruptcy last year. That was us. I keep my voice neutral, professional. When they recommended you for my current situation, I had no idea. He trails off, then straightens. Maybe I should look elsewhere. My team's results speak for themselves. I slide a portfolio across the desk. But you're welcome to try your luck finding another agency with our track record on short notice. Desperation wars with pride across his face. Finally, he opens the portfolio. My company is tanking, he admits. Our product is solid, revolutionary even, but nobody knows about it. We've burned through our marketing budget with nothing to show for it. For the next hour, Andrew outlines his startup's problems while my team joins us to ask targeted questions. As we begin sketching solutions on the whiteboard, I catch the shift in his expression from skepticism to surprise to reluctant respect. When we present our initial strategy, he goes quiet. He pauses. This is exceptional work. We know. I slide the contract across the table. If you want to work with us, these are our terms. His pen hovers over the signature line. Does Chloe know about all this? My family believes I'm playing at business. I meet his eyes directly. What they believe doesn't change what I've built. Later, after the contract is signed and he's preparing to leave, Andrew pauses at my door. I didn't know, he says simply. Most people don't bother to look. After he leaves, I sit alone in my office, remembering my father's words 3 years ago. You'll never amount to anything in business, Emily. It's not in your DNA. I had choices then, Raj. Surrender, bitterness. I chose to prove him wrong, quietly, deliberately, without the validation I once craved. Now his son-in-law needs my help to save his failing company. The irony isn't lost on me. 2 hours later, my phone rings. Chloe again. Dad's planning a family dinner Sunday, she says without preamble. He says attendance is mandatory. I hear movement in the background, then Andrew's voice asking who she's talking to. I'll be there, I say, a decision forming. I think it's time they saw the real me. As I hang up, I catch Andrew's thoughtful expression reflected in my office window. Something is brewing behind those eyes: reassessment, recalculation, respect. Let Sunday come, I'm ready. 5 days later, the fluorescent lights flicker overhead as I study the analytics dashboard. The late hour means the office stands empty except for Andrew and me, both hunched over my glass desk like scientists on the verge of discovery. These numbers can't be right. Andrew leans forward, his Silicon Valley casual attire jeans and a plain gray sweater a stark contrast to his usual polished appearance at family gatherings. You've doubled our conversion rate? I tap the screen. Doubled and sustained. The heat map tracking shows visitors now spend an average of 4 minutes on your product pages instead of bouncing after 40 seconds. But how? We completely reimagined your customer journey. I click through several screens, revealing layers of strategic changes. People weren't leaving because your product lacked value. They left because you buried that value under technical jargon and corporate speak. Andrew falls silent, watching as months of his startup struggles transform into upward trending graphs. His shoulder brushes mine as he leans closer to the screen, and I catch a hint of the same cologne he wore at Mom's birthday dinner the night he watched my family dismiss my gift while he clutched his phone. Already knowing his company was circling the drain. You saved us. His voice drops to a whisper. My board was 2 weeks from forcing a pivot or shutting us down entirely. I close the laptop, suddenly uncomfortable with his gratitude. For 3 years, I've built my business in determined silence, far from my family's judgment. Now Andrew, witness to countless Carter dinner table dismissal, sees everything I've accomplished. It's what we do for all our clients, I say, gathering my papers. No, Andrew shakes his head. Your team worked overtime. You personally rewrote our entire brand message. That goes beyond a standard client relationship. The truth hangs between us. I helped his company despite years of him silently watching my family diminish me. Despite Chloe's constant reminders that Andrew's tech startup made him an actual entrepreneur. Why did you never tell them? Andrew asks. About all this? He gestures around my office, modest but distinctly mine, with awards discreetly displayed on a back shelf where family would never see them. I think back to my first year after leaving finance. The night my checking account showed $42.18 while rent loomed 3 days away. The small marketing project I landed the next morning that barely covered expenses. The temptation to call Dad and admit failure scratched at my pride like hunger. Would it have mattered? I ask, but it's not really a question. Your dad brags about my series of funding at the country club. Andrew's admission carries a hint of shame. He introduces me as the real entrepreneur in the family. The words sting despite their familiarity. I remember Dad's toast at Chloe's wedding. To my daughter and her brilliant husband, the future of American innovation. The memory propels me to the credenza where I keep client files. I pull out a sleek black folder. I've been preparing for Sunday's dinner. I hand Andrew the folder. Dad called. Attendance is mandatory. What's this? He flips through pages of metrics, press mentions, and client testimonials. Evidence. I smile thinly. I'm tired of being the family hobby project. Andrew studies a page detailing his company's transformation. You're planning to tell them. I'm planning to show them. I turn off my desk lamp, plunging half the room into shadow. Success speaks for itself. The darkness can't hide Andrew's grimace. Chloe won't take this well. She's already noticed something's different between us. Professional respect shouldn't threaten a marriage. It does when you've spent 3 years describing your sister's business as cute. Andrew's honesty surprises me. I was wrong, Emily. About everything. I gather my purse, uncomfortable with vulnerability after years of carefully constructed professional walls. Sunday will be interesting. They need to know. Andrew stands, suddenly decisive. Not just about your success, but what you did for me. For us. The us hangs in the air: his marriage, his company, his future with my family, all unexpectedly intertwined with my own path. Let me drive you home. He takes the folder back, tucks it carefully into his messenger bag. We should talk strategy before Sunday. 15 minutes later, in the parking garage, my phone buzzes with a text from Sarah, my business mentor from my finance days, who jumped ship to start her own firm 5 years before I found the courage. Don't let Sunday become about them. Your success belongs to you first. Sarah understood from the beginning how I'd been the difficult Carter daughter, never quite fitting the mold my parents shaped so perfectly for Chloe. Everything okay? Andrew asks as we reach his sensible sedan. Just my mentor. She's been prepping me for psychological warfare. Andrew laughs, then sobers. Your family isn't the enemy. No, I agree, unlocking the car. They're just people who never learned to see me. The drive to my apartment passes in comfortable silence. Late nights and strategy sessions have created an unexpected ease between us. Gone is the awkward brother-in-law who avoided eye contact at holiday gatherings. In his place sits a colleague who's witnessed my professional capabilities and no longer finds me lacking. When we pull up to my building, Andrew doesn't immediately get out. I'll pick you up Sunday, he says. We should arrive together. Chloe will. I told her I have a breakfast meeting with investors. I'll meet her there. Andrew turns in his seat. Emily, I need to say this clearly. You're brilliant at what you do. Your family should know that. I should have recognized it sooner. The validation I've claimed not to need washes over me like warm water. I stare at the dashboard, momentarily speechless. The Velocity VC report featured your strategy as a case study. Andrew continues. They've approached us about potential investment not because of my product, but because of your marketing architecture. I look up sharply. Velocity VC ranks among the top 10 venture capital firms in the country. Why didn't you tell me? I just found out yesterday. His eyes hold a new respect I've never seen from family. They want to meet the marketing genius behind our growth curve. We sit in silence as streetlights cast alternating patterns across the car interior. For 3 years, I've built my company piece by piece, client by client, while my family waited for me to admit failure and return to the path they prescribed. Sunday will change everything, I say finally. Andrew nods. Are you ready for that? The question hangs between us. Am I ready for recognition from people whose approval I've claimed not to need? Am I ready for Chloe's jealousy, Mom's confused recalibration, Dad's stubborn pride? Yes, I decide. I'm ready for them to see the real me. We finalize plans to meet before Sunday's dinner. As Andrew's car disappears around the corner, my phone buzzes with a text from Chloe. What's going on with you and Andrew? Mom says you're plotting something. I smile at the family paranoia that mistakes professional respect for conspiracy. Sunday can't come soon enough. On Sunday, Richard's dining room intimidates by design. Crystal chandeliers hang like judgment from coffered ceilings. The mahogany table stretches 14 feet, enough space for 20, but set for only 5. Family photographs line the walls, each one capturing a Carter triumph. Richard accepting the Businessman of the Year award, Patricia chairing the hospital charity gala, Chloe's wedding at the country club. None feature me. I straighten my silverware, though it's already perfect. The weight of crystal and silver surrounds us like armor. Emily. My father speaks my name like an afterthought. Patricia tells me you've been turning down her introductions at the club. I take a measured sip of water. I've been busy with clients. Clients. The word drips with skepticism. Chloe leans forward, diamonds flashing at her wrist. You know, I have a friend at Thompson Media who's looking for a marketing assistant. Entry level, but... That's thoughtful. I fold my napkin precisely. But I'm not looking for employment. Patricia passes the salad, her voice honeyed with concern. Darling, it's been 3 years since you left Winter's Financial. Even a small position would get you back on track. I've rehearsed this conversation countless times. Still, something tightens in my chest. Andrew stays uncharacteristically quiet, pushing lettuce around his plate. His eyes dart between me and Richard, his normal tech bro slouch replaced by tension. My father sets down his fork with a clink that silences the table. Family means legacy, and legacy means excellence. He begins the familiar monologue. 4 generations of Carters have built something extraordinary. Your grandfather started with nothing and created Carter Holdings. I expanded it internationally. He gestures toward Chloe. Your sister serves on 3 boards before 35. Her husband, he nods at Andrew, just secured second-round funding at what, 30 million? 28, Andrew mutters, not meeting anyone's eyes. The point is, Carters succeed. Father's voice hardens. We're planning the annual family trip to Vail this winter. For those who can afford it, of course. The old pattern unfolds. I should nod, smile politely, accept the diminishment. But something has shifted since Mother's birthday dinner last week. The TechCrunch article. Andrew's growing awareness, my own refusal to shrink any longer. Andrew sets down his glass too hard. Wine sloshes against crystal. Richard, I think you should know something. The table falls silent. Even Patricia, halfway through a story about the garden committee, stops mid-sentence. Andrew's voice has taken on an unfamiliar tone, professional, serious. He stands, smooths his napkin, and turns to me. Emily, I need your approval on the Thompson proposal, boss. The investor meeting is tomorrow, and I wanted to confirm the final conversion metrics before we present. Silence crashes over the table like broken glass. What do you mean, boss? Father's voice is dangerously quiet. I meet Andrew's eyes and respond with the calm confidence I use in client meetings. The metrics look solid. Tell Jensen we're projecting a 70% increase in qualified leads by Q3. Richard's knife clatters against fine china. What is this? Andrew takes a deep breath. TechStart was failing when I came to Emily. Our marketing was terrible, our customer acquisition costs were unsustainable, and we were burning through capital. He turns to face the family directly. Emily's firm didn't just help us, they saved us. Her strategy increased our valuation by 40% in 90 days. We're now the fastest growing platform in our sector. Chloe's mouth opens and closes without sound. Her company? Patricia whispers. Digital Momentum has a 6-month waiting list. Andrew continues. They've been featured in Forbes. That little Instagram thing is a 7-figure business with clients fighting to get in the door. He looks at me with genuine respect. She's one of the most brilliant business minds I've ever worked with. Our investors specifically requested her involvement in the next round. My father's face transforms through disbelief, confusion, and finally stunned silence. His mouth works, but no sound emerges. I always knew you had it in you. Mother attempts, her voice hollow. I told Richard just last month that your creative spirit would find its way. Chloe stares at her husband, betrayal and jealousy warring on her face. You never said anything about working with Emily. The power in the room shifts like tectonic plates. For the first time in my adult life, all eyes turn to me with something new, respect tinged with uncertainty. Father regains his composure first. Why didn't you tell us your business was doing so well? His tone aims for casual interest but misses by miles. I meet his gaze directly. I did. You just weren't listening. I place my napkin beside my barely touched dinner. Success isn't measured by what you can buy, but by what you can build. I stand, suddenly tired of the performance. When you're ready to actually see Minot, the daughter you imagined, but the woman I am, we can continue this conversation. The silence follows me as I walk toward the door, steady and unhurried. I stayed on the porch. An hour later, the grandfather clock in the foyer strikes 9, its somber chime echoing through the hollow silence of the Carter mansion. From where I now stand in the entryway, I can map the family's retreat by sound alone. Father's heavy footsteps disappear into his study, followed by the familiar squeak of his leather chair. The click of Mother's heels trace a path to the sunroom, her voice already pitched to that particular tone she uses when reconstructing family narratives for her friends. Upstairs, Chloe's sharp words to Andrew bounce off marble tile. The house fragments around me, each family member scurrying to separate corners like wounded animals. I gather my purse and the car keys I dropped on the console table. My fingers brush against a framed photo of our family at Lake Geneva 15 summers ago. Before college applications and business school rankings consumed our conversations, before success became defined solely by income brackets and zip codes. You're leaving? Andrew appears in the archway, looking smaller somehow. No point in staying. I straighten my shoulders. They need time to process. They're in shock. He gestures vaguely toward the study. Your father especially. I nod, sliding the keys into my pocket. 3 years of telling them exactly what I was building. 3 years of invitations to my office. To client events. My voice remains steady, surprising me. They weren't interested until it affected their perception of me. Andrew studies the floor. You never told me. Would it have mattered before you needed my help? He has no answer for that. I move toward the door, but pause at the sound of the study door opening. Father emerges, his expression unreadable. He looks older tonight, the lines around his mouth deeper than I remember. Emily. He clears his throat. A word before you go. We step onto the wide front porch. Spring air carries the scent of Mother's prized roses. The porch swing where I used to read Nancy Drew mysteries sits untouched, gathering pollen. Father rocks slightly on his heels. I underestimated you. The words hang between us, insufficient but unprecedented. Yes, you did. He smooths his tie, a gesture from boardroom negotiations. I've been thinking, your company sounds promising. Perhaps it's time I took a look at your business plan. Could make an excellent addition to the Carter portfolio. The old familiar ache blooms in my chest. Even now, he can't see me outside the framework of his approval. Thank you for the offer, I say quietly. But I built this company without family capital. I'd prefer to keep it that way. His eyebrows rise slightly. Pride is a luxury in business, Emily. So is independence. I meet his gaze. My company isn't for sale, not even to family. Father's mouth tightens. For a moment, I glimpse the man who fired his best friend of 30 years over a percentage point of profit margin. I see. He straightens his shoulders. Well, my offer stands. The porch door slams. Chloe storms toward us, her eyes bright with anger. How could you? She demands. You completely blindsided us. Father retreats with a murmured excuse about checking on Mother, leaving us alone. Blindsided you? I keep my voice level. With what exactly? My success? You deliberately humiliated us. Her voice trembles. You turned my husband against his own family. Andrew made a business decision, a good one. I step closer. When was the last time you made a decision Father didn't pre-approve, Chloe? She flinches. Behind her perfect makeup, I recognize something I've seen in the mirror, the exhaustion of constant performance. You think it's easy? She whispers. Being the one who stayed, who did everything right, who upheld the family name while you ran off to play entrepreneur. I think it's harder, I admit. You're trapped inside their expectations. I just disappointed them and moved on. Her shoulders drop a fraction. For a heartbeat, I see my sister instead of my competitor. Your company really saved Andrew's startup? I nod. He never told me how bad things were. Some things are hard to admit to people whose approval matters too much. Chloe's eyes widen slightly, recognition flickering in their depths. The front door opens again. Mother steps onto the porch, a tissue clutched in her hand. Her eyes are red-rimmed, her carefully constructed facade cracking. "Chloe, your father needs you," she says softly. With a last, uncertain glance at me, Chloe retreats inside. Mother drifts toward me like a ghost. "I didn't know," she whispers, "about your business, how successful you've become." "You never asked, Mom." Her face crumples. "I should have. I always thought." She trails off. "That I was just playing at business, like your watercolors?" She winces. "I let your father decide what success looked like for all of us, even me." Her fingers worry the tissue, especially me. The admission costs her visibly. In this moment, she looks more authentic than I've seen her in decades. "I'm proud of you, Emily," she says, the words unpracticed. "For finding your own way." Something tight unwinds in my chest. Not forgiveness exactly, but recognition. "Thank you," I say simply. Through the window, I see Andrew gesturing to Richard and Chloe, his laptop open on the coffee table. Showing them metrics perhaps, evidence of what they refuse to see. "Will you stay?" Mother asks. "They want to hear about your company now." I shake my head. I need to go, but I'm open to dinner next week. Somewhere casual. I smooth my pants. Somewhere we can talk as equals. Mother nods slowly. "I'd like that." At the bottom of the porch steps, I turn back. They've gathered at the window now. Father, Mother, Chloe, Andrew. 4 faces watching me with new eyes. "I'm always here for family who sees me for who I really am." I call back to them. As I drive away, the rearview mirror frames their silhouette smaller now, diminished not by distance, but by the realization that validation can come from within. The road ahead curves toward downtown, toward my office, toward the life I built despite them. Perhaps someday, it will be a life they're genuinely part of. But that choice, like my success, isn't mine alone to make. My new office windows frame the Chicago skyline like a painting I've earned the right to enjoy. 6 months have passed since the dinner that changed everything, and autumn sunlight streams across glass desks where my team of 12 now works. Twice the size we were before Andrew's company became our client. "Emily?" Megan, my creative director, stands in the doorway clutching her tablet. The Westlake proposal is ready for final approval. I smile, remembering when it was just the 2 of us working from my dining room. "Send it over. I'll review it before the afternoon call." The nameplate on my desk catches the light. Emily Carter, founder and CEO. No family money bought this view, no connections opened these doors. Just stubborn determination and a vision nobody in my family could see. My phone buzzes with a text from Mother. "Sunday dinner at 5? Your father has questions about the Robertson account." The Robertson account, Dad's golf buddy who hired us last month. Another small victory in the long campaign for family respect. "Come in," I call as a knock sounds on my half-open door. Chloe steps inside, her designer heels clicking against hardwood floors. Her eyes widen as she takes in the bustling office beyond my glass walls. "This is impressive." "Thanks." I gesture to the chair across from me. "What brings you downtown?" She settles carefully, crossing her ankles the way Mother taught us. "I was shopping at Nordstrom and thought I'd stop by." Her fingers trace the edge of my desk. "Your team looks busy." "We're pitching 3 new clients this week." I lean back, waiting. Chloe doesn't make social calls without purpose. "Andrew talks about your work all the time now." Her voice holds a note I've never heard before, something between admiration and envy. "Sometimes I think he respects you more than me." The old Emily would have apologized. The new one doesn't. His company grew 40% since we took over his marketing. That tends to earn respect. She looks out the window, then back at me. "What was it like, starting something from nothing?" The question surprises me with its sincerity. For a moment, I glimpse the sister beneath the perfect exterior roan who followed the path of least resistance into a life that now feels hollow. Terrifying, I answer honestly, but also the most alive I've ever felt. "I've been thinking about interior design school again." The words tumble out like she's been holding them back. "I know Dad thinks it's silly, but it's what you've wanted since college," I finish. Something shifts between USA door cracking open after years locked shut. My assistant appears with coffee for us both. Your father called again about the awards ceremony tomorrow night. He wanted to confirm you received the tickets he sent over. Award ceremony? Chloe asks after my assistant leaves. Chicago Business Journal's 40 Under 40 recognition. They're honoring me for the mentorship program I launched for female entrepreneurs. Chloe's eyebrows rise. Dad's attending? Apparently. I shrug, though my heart beats faster at the thought. Later that night, I stand at the podium with the award heavy in my hands, spotlights nearly blinding me. But through the glare, I find my father in the front row, sitting straight-backed in his tuxedo. The slight nod he gives me carries more weight than words. Afterward, he approaches with uncharacteristic hesitation. Your speech was excellent, he clears his throat. I might have been wrong about a few things. From Richard Carter, those words are seismic. Maybe success comes in different forms, I offer, extending an olive branch. His hand briefly touches my shoulder. Maybe it does. 1 year later, I bring another handmade gift to Mother's birthday dinner. This time, when she opens the leather-bound journal filled with business wisdom collected from women entrepreneurs I've mentored, her eyes shine with genuine appreciation. This is extraordinary, Emily, she whispers, and I know she finally sees me. That night in my office, I study our family photo on my desk. My phone chimes with a text from Dad. Would appreciate your thoughts on a marketing situation with our Dallas division. Time to talk tomorrow? I smile as I type. Happy to help. That's what family does. The city lights reflect in my window, overlaying my present success onto the glass like a promise fulfilled. Some victories don't need applause to change everything.